Hey everybody, welcome back to that Boondocking Diva. I am in nature today and I'm loving it. It feels good to be out here. I don't normally walk out here, especially places that I'm not familiar, but it's so beautiful and I decided to do my next video in nature. Alright, so I have a few safety tips that I want to share with everybody, especially for women who boondock or travel by themselves or maybe with another friend, right? If you are interested in getting a few of my safety tips from my last couple of trips, stay tuned. All right, see you soon. Hey everybody, this is that Boondocking Diva, and I am doing something a little bit differently today. I am actually in nature, which I don't often do, but I am trying to get over my fear of critters and woods and all this beautiful nature is not to be feared but embraced, and so I am walking through this. I did not grow up walking through nature, but this is something that I've often been drawn to and just never pursued. So here I am in a park walking through the backwoods and slowly keeping an eye out for anything that looks or sounds weird. Anyway, this morning I was I like to walk and set my intention. And so I want to set my intention for today. One of the things I often say to myself and to the universe is, I see an abundance of good things happening to me, happening inside of me, happening for me, and all around me. I see an abundance of good things happening to me, for me, inside of me, and all around me. So I am carefully walking through and enjoying nature. Certain parts I'm gonna try to avoid because I haven't completely become familiar with these woods yet. But I wanted to do a story time as well, and the story time is centered around safety, believe it or not. So safety. When I promised in one of my last videos that I was going to talk about something that happened to me and Susie while we were on our Grand Canyon trip, December 2020. As you know, it's super cold around that time. And while we were headed to the Grand Canyon, basically it got colder and colder and colder, snowy, freezing weather. And Moonshine has never been in that weather. So Moonshine was fully ready for the trip, so I thought, right? But I had never really gone in the cold with her. And so as I was making my way through, let's see, New Mexico is when my oil change light came on, and as it was coming on, I said, well, I just got an oil change. How is it possible that I need another oil change? So I ended up giving in, stopping at the Valvoline, which I like going to because you don't have to get out of your vehicle. And so, so as I'm getting my oil change, I'm thinking, wow, this is great. I'm getting it over with, no big deal. At the same time, before I even started getting the oil change, there was this big engine sound, grinding sound that was happening. So I thought it was directly related to the oil change as well. So I was relieved. The Valvoline people actually said that my oil was too full. And so I'm thinking, okay, finally, I know what the problem is. Yay, I don't have to worry about this sound anymore. I don't have to worry about my engine light telling me I need an oil change anymore. I'm good. So we make our way to Arizona from New Mexico. And finally going to get to the Grand Canyon. We're in Arizona and the sound comes back. And so I'm like stressing all over again because I'm like, it's cold. I don't have time for this. I don't know what's wrong. My engine lights are not telling me anything. It's not, doing anything besides that grinding engine sound. And so I'm like, geez, I need to find a dealer. I need somebody who can actually diagnose what's going on with this. And so basically, sorry about that. I think a spider web just hit me. So basically I go to the dealership and I'm sitting, I'm checking in, right? I get there early in the morning, me and Susie, and I'm so thankful I got a spot because when I got there, the line was already long. So I was thinking, oh God, I need to get in here. I need a spot. I need somebody to look at this so we can enjoy our trip and move on. And so, got a spot, got settled in, told everybody what the problem is. Basically the engine was, whenever it would idle and sit and idle, it would make this grinding engine sound. And so they wrote it down, did all their paperwork. They put their diagnostic tool inside my vehicle and checked to see if any codes came back. And nothing was coming back. So they said, we're going to look at it closer. I'm like, great. Please, if you can, really, I need this, fixed. And so, so we're sitting in the guest area of the dealership, me and Susie. I'm working on my laptop. Susie is doing whatever. And 30 minutes later, the guy comes back and he's like, hey, we need to talk to you. Can you come to the back? I'm like, sure. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, normally the representative or the mechanic tells you at least what they think the problem is. They tell you at least, hey, we weren't able to find the problem, or we did find the problem, and here's a cost estimate. And a time estimate. So I didn't get either of those. He just said, hey, we need to talk to you in the back. So I follow him. To the back. And as I'm getting to the back, he hands me over to another guy who looks like the actual mechanic. So I'm like, okay, is anybody gonna tell me anything? But I'm like just going with the flow because I'm trying not to stress them, So I follow the other guy. So the other guy, the first guy leaves, hands me off to the second guy. The second guy doesn't say anything. He doesn't look like he can speak English. And I don't, I'm trying just to be patient and go with the flow and figure out what they're trying to do. So, mind you, I have my phone because, my phone has my wallet on it. So I always carry my phone with me. So I don't like to just leave it. I left my laptop with Susie. I left my jacket with Susie because I'm thinking they're going to show me the vehicle. So as we get to the second guy closes the engine hood, doesn't show me anything inside the engine. He says, hey, you want to take a ride? We couldn't duplicate the problem, so I just want to show you that it's not working, or the problem that you explained is not happening. And so, we just want to show you that it's fine. And I was like, well, in my head, I'm thinking, that's not the problem I described. It only happens when it's idling. And it takes a minute for it to happen. So, and of course, so at this point, I'm cold, I'm disoriented, because I was asking myself, why didn't I just tell that mechanic that, driving wasn't going to prove anything? The thing that happens is it happens when it's sitting still and idling. So I asked myself that question over and over and over, but the only thing I could come up with is I had my guard down. I wasn't thinking straight. I was cold. I was expecting a certain type of customer service experience that, I've had all my life, which is the mechanic tells you while you're sitting down what's going on. That's what I was expecting. So I'm just a little disoriented because I'm going through this new process. And so we get in the car. I have my phone, so I'm feeling like, okay, at least I have a way of communicating. I'm a little cold. I left my jacket, but I'm like, I'll get in the vehicle. Basically, I'm explaining away all the things, all the red flags. And so, which is not good. And so I get in the vehicle. We drive. I'm thinking, okay, he's just going to drive around the dealership and show me what he thinks, you know, should be happening, and that it's not happening. And I'm like, okay, just let him do his thing. So I'm thinking he's just going to drive around the corner. This is a dealership. There's no reason for me to suspect anything. And so basically he drives not just around the dealership. He actually leaves the dealership. So I'm like, okay, sometimes still I'm not thinking straight. But at a certain point, we drive down this long road where it's a back road. It's not even a main highway. It's not, you know, with stoplights and people and buildings. It's this back road. And I'm starting to get nervous. But I have my phone. So I said, you know, let me text my friend and let her know where I'm at, because I didn't get a chance to tell her that I'm leaving the dealership. He said, oh, no. You don't need to do that. Don't worry about that. We're going to be back in no time. And I was like, no, I think I'll go ahead and let her know. So I'm texting Susie, hoping that my text goes through, because I don't know, you know, where we are and if we're getting a signal or what. But the text goes through. Susie responds. I feel a little relieved. And so basically we're still going. We're still driving. I'm like, how far are we going? He's like, oh no, just right here down the road. And as he's saying that, he pulls into this gravel type driveway. Not even a driveway. It's just the side of the road, a bunch of gravel. And in that side road area that he pulled into was a black pickup truck and a guy standing next to it. And I'm like, what the heck? Why are we stopping here? You know, in my head, I'm thinking, so anyway, as we're sitting there, as we're moving through the little parking lot, my head is on a swivel, because I'm like, is this guy that's standing by this pickup truck getting ready to approach us? Does he know you? You know, I didn't say this out loud, but I'm like thinking, now I'm really starting to get nervous. And so as I am, you know, going through my little thing in my head, he's like, so yeah, there's no problem. I said, well, I said, you don't realize that the problem has always been only when it idles, only when it's sitting still. It doesn't happen when I'm driving. So this doesn't really prove anything for me. And he's like, okay, so you want to show me where the problem is in the back? And we're sitting in the front, right? I'm like, in the back? The back of my RV? The back of my van? Why would the problem be in the back of my van? And I'm like, no. I said, the problem is in the front. The engine's in the front. So why, first of all, why is he asking me this? And then at some point, you know, I'm like, you know what, let's just go. We're still sitting there. And he's like, well, do you have a lot of family? And now I'm really getting suspicious, because I'm like, what the heck? Why do you care? Well, we're trying to diagnose a freaking issue. Why are you asking me, do I have a lot of family? You got me out here. You didn't want me to contact my friend to let her know I was gone. You don't understand the problem. Can we just go? So he finally drives off, and I'm like, phew, okay. The guy in the pickup truck has nothing to do with this. Thank God. Hopefully he didn't. I don't know if they changed their mind about whatever plans they had. I don't know if there was anything ever planned. But I do have a question for y'all that are watching. If you live in Arizona or New Mexico and this is normal, if this is normally how business is done at a dealership, please put it in the comments, because I was super nervous. And I was just like, I can't believe this is happening to me. I can't believe I let my guard down to the point where I didn't make them explain what was going on before I left and got in the vehicle with them driving me. Like, I should have been in the driver's seat. If anything, I should have went back to Susie and said, hey, I'm leaving. Grabbed my jacket. I had my phone, but yeah. So anyway, I felt like me and Susie on the way back, we were talking about this and how many ways this could have gone wrong. I don't know if the fact that I texted her, you know, maybe if there was some kind of kidnapping underway, or some kind of, I don't know what the scheme would have been. It just felt really uneasy and uncomfortable. And you hear about people disappearing all the time, right? And you just never know under what circumstances, because you don't hear back. They're never found, whatever. And I could be overreacting. So if I'm not overreacting, tell me if I am, and you've experienced something like this in the Arizona, New Mexico area. If that's how they do at their dealerships, if that's how they, normally do things, let me know. So the good news is I got out of that, right? I got back to the dealership. I was so grateful that, I didn't even care if they fixed it at that point. I was just so grateful to be back safely enough to tell Susie what happened and tell my husband, right? So me and Susie were driving on our way back to Florida after this whole Grand Canyon experience. Had a wonderful time there, but that was after the car dealership happened. And so I did end up getting it fixed. I went to a totally different, and I'm going back, y'all. I'm going back to the first tip, which was don't let your guard down with the dealerships. I don't know what was going on with that. But I went to a second dealership. It cost me about $1,500 to get it fixed, but they did diagnose it. They found it. And guess what? They just happened to have the exact part. Basically, my fan in the front of my van was grinding against something, and it's because it was missing. It had a damaged part, and so basically, I paid $1,500 to get that fixed. They diagnosed it. It took about 8 hours for them to do it all, but at this point, I didn't care. I was just like, whatever. Let's just get this. Let's just make this happen. So that was a happy ending for me. Super happy ending for me. And so after that happened, we were on our way back. This is the second safety tip. Right? Second safety tip is don't run out of gas having fun. Because me and Susie got to talking and we were happy and listening to music, and I looked down and I'm past E. Like I might have 2 or 3 miles left, but we're in the middle of nowhere. And I had already passed a sign that said the next gas station I remember passing it, but not thinking I should be paying attention. I was having too much fun. And so we drove through this really rural area. Didn't have the gas station that we did find. It was out of business. That's the kind of neighborhood we were in, driving through, trying to find a gas station. And so, thank goodness, we made it. We made it to a gas station, but I was just, y'all, my heart was beating so fast while I was driving. I was trying to drive slow, turn the heat off. I was trying to do everything in my power to make sure we didn't run out of gas, because I was thinking we're going to have to boondock on the highway and get up in the morning, or maybe call a trooper to help us. And so, so what ended up happening is we found a gas station. Whew. We celebrated. So, we didn't really celebrate because I was just like a sigh of relief celebration. I just had to sit there and thank the universe and my guardian angels. Thank you for keeping us safe. That was something else too. All right. So the second safety tip is don't let yourself run out of gas because you're having too much fun. Third, and this is just something that most people probably already know, but I'm going to share it anyway. The third tip is if you like to boondock by yourself or with somebody else and you're trying to look for a place, use your Google Maps, your ratings. Okay, so this seems like simple thing, but when I was boondocking by myself on a different trip, I learned that I only want to stay places that have a Google rating of 4.6 or higher. If it doesn't have a Google rating of 4.6 or higher, I'm not interested. So you still have to kind of scope out the area, because sometimes a place will have a high rating and then you'll be thinking, why does this look ratchet? Right? I don't think I want to stay here. There's some activity happening around this place that I don't like. And so, I would definitely start with the Google ratings. I've slept at Cracker Barrels. I've slept at truck stops. I've slept at Walmarts. But again, if the rating is not high, then I'm moving on. And then, you know, I don't even stop at that place if the rating isn't high enough. If the rating is high, then I'm still going to scope out the place, look at the activity, and then decide. So those are 3 safety tips I really wanted to share. Glad I finally got a chance to do that with everybody. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any other safety tips, especially for women who like to boondock, or maybe you've experienced some of these things that I've gone through and how you normally handle them or avoid them. Especially the one with the car dealership. I just didn't see that coming. I still don't know what would have happened if I hadn't texted Susie and if I hadn't been pushy towards the end, because it really felt wrong. You know how your energy is just telling you, your intuition is just telling you this is not safe. Here I am in nature and nothing has happened. That's another thing. It feels good to be out here in nature. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't keep your head on a swivel, because you never know what's out here. But it's a beautiful healing place. Hey everybody, one last bonus tip for you that I forgot to mention is put a hat or multiple hats in your dashboard. That can give the illusion to other people that it's more than you traveling. So if you're traveling by yourself, throw a hat in your windshield area. It's really helpful. All right, okay, so I have almost made it out of the woods. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoy the safety tips that I shared today. Stay tuned for my next couple of videos. One of them, at least one of them, will be about my trip to Africa. Me and hubby are headed to Africa for Christmas. So yeah, hoping to document that as much as possible so that I can share some of my experiences with you. But yeah, if you have time, get out in nature, enjoy all of this beautiful, beautiful greenery and trees, and yeah, watch your step, right? But get out there and set your intention for the day. I also would ask that you subscribe, like, comment, whatever you feel like doing to support the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.